while Lucas Giolito takes the bump for the White Sox as they host the Twins. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. From the Fox Business Network this morning, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, J.M. Smucker is reporting a disappointing quarter, and it's lowering its forecast for the year. The company makes its namesake jam, Jif peanut butter, Folgers coffee, Meow Mix, and other pet food brands. Mark Smucker, its CEO, says the company was dealing with lower prices for coffee and peanut butter and also competition in its pet food business. Panera Bread is expanding delivery nationwide with third-party partnerships. It's now working with DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. Panera says you place your order with its app, and it'll be delivered by one of Panera's own drivers. Delivery is now 7% of Panera's overall sales. Uber Eats is expanding outside the U.S. Uber Eats has a new relationship with Tokyo's convenience store chain Lawson. It'll be delivering bento boxes, fried chicken, and other foods and everyday items. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
It's 8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Woodland Windows and Doors, Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists, PJN Tax Solutions, and by Glass Doctor.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
8:07, AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Kennedy inbound delays start at Harlem at 58 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 33 from Montrose, 31 on the Express, and outbound 51 minutes to O'Hare. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook to the Junction, outbound 26. The Eisenhower looking at 1 hour, 390 to downtown, 47 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 42 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 42 minutes from 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound traffic's heavy, 21 to the Lake Forest Oasis and Everett to Deerfield Road. Northbound it's jammed. Cicero Road to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Two-Way Toll Plaza. He's gone Reagan Tollway delays are Randall to Yakima and 22nd to Roosevelt. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today breezy with sun and clouds. The high today near 80. It'll be mainly clear tonight, low 59. Partly sunny, nice refreshing breeze tomorrow, high 75. Sunny and pleasant, breezy day on Thursday with a high 82. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
66 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with Stephen Leahy. Every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from St. Mary's Retirement Home, run by the Little Sisters of the Poor.
And we're getting breakfast right
scenic
now.
Lincoln Park.
Thank you so much.
Just steps from Amy Jacobson's Northside compound. Yes, thank you. And we're getting breakfast. Now, there was a bit of a row over breakfast. We caught it on audio.
Hi, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like a ham and cheese omelet and order wham fries.
I'm sorry, we stopped serving breakfast, but we are on the lunch menu now.
I want breakfast.
Well, you can't have it. We're not serving it.
So you said.
Little Sisters are a little nasty.
Is that the manager?
Yeah.
Could I speak to him, please?
They have a manager
Sure.
here, the retirement
Rick,
home.
there's a customer that would like to speak with you.
Yes, sir. Hi, I'd like some breakfast.
We stopped serving breakfast.
I know you stopped serving breakfast, Rick. Sheila told me you stopped serving breakfast. Why am I calling you by your first names? I don't even know who you are. I still call my boss Mister. I worked for him for 7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden, total stranger. I'm calling you Rick and Sheila like we're in some kind of AA meeting. I don't want to be your buddy, Rick. I just want a little breakfast.
Well, you can call me Miss Folsom if you want to.
Sheila, we stopped serving breakfast at 11:30.
Rick, have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here I am, the customer.
That's not our policy.
Yeah, and then ultimately we got our omelets. And it's appropriate to bring up Michael Douglas and falling down for another reason, too. It pertains to our next guest, Jared Whitley, because he references Michael Douglas and falling down in his piece about big tech. This will be interesting how he makes the connection there. We're pleased to be joined by Jared Whitley, who is a former White House and Senate aide. He has written for the Weekly Standard, National Review, and The Hill, and he writes about big tech on a day when two things are happening. One, our friend Dennis Prager is in court over his suit against YouTube and parent company Google over censorship of PragerU videos. And two, a profile piece in the LA Times this week featuring Dennis Prager and Prager University, how a LA-based conservative became one of the internet's biggest sensations, and actually a fairly positive piece considering the source. Jared, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
So how did Michael Douglas become the bad guy? How did that happen? He did everything they told him to do, and then, of course, he goes on a bit of a crime spree. Make the nexus between that and your distillation of Silicon Valley's antipathy towards conservatives.
Okay, so Falling Down came out in 1993, and it's about an out-of-work, for those who may not know it, or if I'm a little faster to explain than you are to get to IMDb, it's about a DOD engineer who was laid off after the end of the Cold War. And so he loses his job on the same day that he needs to go across Los Angeles to visit his daughter on her birthday. And he has this harrowing adventure through Los Angeles that doesn't feel like America anymore. And he says, hey, I did the right thing, but you guys are treating me like the bad guy. And so I use that as an anecdote to compare to what's happening with big tech right now, because big tech was born out of the Cold War Reagan buildup. I mean, Silicon Valley, what we now call Silicon Valley, has been supporting American military efforts since World War I and maybe even before. And then thanks to Reaganomics in the 1990s, when there was that downtick of defense spending, but we had that critical mass of technology and infrastructure, then that's when what we now call the internet was able to take off. But those conservative institutions, such as conservative economic principles, Reaganomics, and then of course the military, are now considered the bad guy. And when you see headlines about Silicon Valley companies don't want to take DoD contracts, you think you guys are biting the hand that literally fed you. So that's why I thought that was an apt analogy.
Constantly being vilified. But tell me more about Silicon Valley's military roots.
Oh, okay. So I wrote an article a couple of weeks ago in the American Spectator when I go into this. I go into this in a little bit more detail. But it goes back to World War I and World War II with helping support radar efforts in the Pacific. It was particularly prevalent during the Cold War, where Stanford was basically R&D for the Defense Department, right? And so in terms of our competitive edge against the Soviets, engineers in the San Francisco Bay Area played a critical role, and we might not have won the Cold War if it hadn't been for them. But then now we're basically, our greatest adversary is a cyber war with China. They're not as patriotic as perhaps they could be, and so this isn't just people conservatives complaining that they get blocked on Twitter or shadow banned or whatever, or Dennis Prager and his issues with Google. This is a legitimate security issue that Silicon Valley politics are as crazy as they are.
Well, and this is a point that Peter Thiel has made on a number of occasions now, suggesting CIA and or FBI look at big tech's relationship with foreign adversaries just to understand whether or not they really are presenting a bit of a national security threat.
Yeah, and if someone sends some tweets that aren't politically correct, they'll get blocked. But there are actual dictators who have Twitter accounts, and Twitter just shrugs their shoulders, right? So it's a place where you have a lot of young people who are very successful, very rich, very fast, and they got very rich very quickly in their lives. And I don't think they appreciate what created the environment that they could be successful in. And they are in many ways doing more harm than good. So yeah, I think groups like the FBI and the CIA need to look into it.
Well, ironically, essentially what you're saying is, to some extent, what President Obama would say to all companies, but maybe it's applicable here. You didn't really build that, not by yourselves.